Today in Le Café Courtier, I present the second part of my conversation with Shayna Osterer, the business coach. After diving into her inspiring career story in part one, Shay returns for part two of our conversation, and this one is a must listen for any entrepreneur, manager, or HR leader. We will explore what coaching really is, the difference between corporate sales and personal coaching, and when a business or manager should call a coach. So go grab your coffee because we start now.
Bienvenue dans le Café Courtier, le podcast qui réveille le monde du courtage. Un sujet à la fois. Entre confidence, réflexion et discussion franche. On brasse les idées comme on brasse un bon café. Avec passion, chaleur et parfois un peu de piquant. Installez-vous, c'est l'heure du Café Courtier.
All right, welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Woo, back in time. Part two. So last time you were here, I'm here with Shay. Again, you might have seen her within the Women Entrepreneur series. Oh, sorry. We're still in my van. We're still in Ottawa. So today I want to go a little bit more in depth in the coaching business because I feel like a lot of people should invest in a coach. Corporations should, but also individual, and that's what I did. Like I started in my previous role. I started using you, talking to you. When I was thinking about changing, I kind of threw ideas at you to kind of help me make decisions, develop tools and stuff. So today I'd like to go into more details about specifically this, and hopefully some of our not readers, but viewers.
Yeah.
Hopefully some of our viewers
And listeners,
will be interested, and maybe some of them will call you. So let's go. Part two.
Part two.
Coaching, why it matters. So, offer corporate sales, personal coaching, as we talked a little bit last time. How do you describe what you do to somebody unfamiliar to coaching?
So I work directly with founders who have been in business for 10 plus years, or people who have no idea where to start. And what I do is really unpack where their head is, I have to understand their business before, we go into, you shouldn't expand into this location, or, close that shop. So it's really about getting to know them, their business, their goals. It always starts with their goals. And then that way we create plans to get them to their goals. And so most of my clients I do a weekly accountability call with. I give them a tracker, we go through it. I'll make sure that if they need to hire somebody, they need to, book something in, I'm that person that makes sure that they get things done. And so, I made a joke that it's like I'm managing these founders, and that's like sort of the best way that I can describe it, or, executives, is that I'm helping these people that don't have somebody else to go to. Their husband or wives are sick of hearing about all of the issues. And a lot of them are like, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to use you to vent. And I was like, let's do this. But at the end of the day, it's, coming up with ideas. I'm a big ideas person. So I love to brainstorm. I love to think outside the box, push them. And all of the people that I've worked with thus far, they're really talented at what they do, but they don't know how to run a business. And so, I say it's like business 101 is what I provide to them. It's, whether it's the HR side of things, we talk about what they need on that front, whether it's the marketing, operations, leadership, a lot of that, like how to be a better leader, how to better support their team, how to fire somebody. So I've had a lot of conversations like that to support them as they're going through different business challenges.
To kind of bringing it to the insurance, it's kind of saying, the best salesman, the best producer, might not be the best manager, might not be the best boss, and if they start their own brokerage, yes, they might bring in new clients, but then the hiring, the all the financing, the managing people. I mean, we all know salespeople sometimes. So that's so I get it. And in my case, for example, I was a VP. I'm a VP now. Very creative guy, as you know. And in my case, it was more to try to get out of my own head, get out of my own way. Like, I have a million ideas, so I'm kind of using you to focus me towards something that I want to do.
Yeah.
Make me accountable. Because when you're at the top, as you said, there's not a lot of people that are asking you, did you do this, did you do that? Like, you're the one telling people, asking people, did you do this or that? So by using you, I kind of have to, and it's in my calendar, and I'm like, oh shit, I have a homework. Like, I got to do it.
Yeah.
So whether it's a business or an individual,
Absolutely.
It's good to have somebody to vent with, or somebody to help you focus. And our partners, as you said, sometimes are just tired of hearing the same thing, or they don't know what we're talking about. Like,
Yeah.
they want to help, but they don't know what we're talking about. So it's great to have somebody that can actually help. What kind of clients do you typically work with, and what situations do they reach out to you? So what kind of client do you have, and why do they reach out, basically?
Yeah. I mean, so I'm working with everyone from a psychiatrist to graphic designers, photographers, home care services, yourself, sleep consultants, executives. So really a lot of them are stuck. Again, they need the accountability. Some of them are looking to transform their spaces. So I didn't really, I talked a little bit on our first session about how I opened clinics,
Yeah.
and I got to be part of the reno and design. So now I'm doing that as part of the coaching as well. So I'm helping some of them renovate and design spaces, which I love. If you need help with that, please reach out to me. But again, like I said, it's lonely at the top. I'm offering a listening ear. So it's a lot of them just like, again, don't really know where to go. They have these ideas. They just need to run things by somebody. A sounding board, really. But then again, it's me pushing them to think differently. Or, I've had a client say, she doesn't give you exactly what you want to hear, it's what you need to hear. And that, to me, I feel like I'm doing my job at that point. It's because I'm not going to sugarcoat things. I'll try and do my best to be kind. But at the end of the day, it's your business, and you want to be successful, and I want you to succeed, and I'm going to push you or question certain things and make sure that you're going in the right direction based on what I know.
And it makes so much sense. I mean, you want to learn how to skate, you're going to hire a coach. You want to learn how to play piano, you're going to hire a coach. You have a bad back, you're going to go see a chiropractor. You want to get in shape, you're going to hire a gym coach. So if you want to be better at your job, doesn't it make sense to hire a business coach? So all for it. Next one. Can you share a transformation story? Someone who really benefited from your coaching?
Yeah, so my goal is really to empower people. And I say, obviously it's not good for my business, but I want them to not need me anymore, get them to a place. So for me, one of my success stories, or for my client, we worked together for almost a year. They saw 100% increase in their revenue month over month. So from a business perspective, I think that's pretty good.
Pretty good.
And really seeing the confidence in their leadership, giving them resources and tools that they need to feel more confident with hiring, firing, that space. So it's been, obviously every business is a revenue, but it's the leadership too. Like, they don't need me as much anymore. They feel more confident in what they're doing. And, we've moved to once a month. So it's not good for for me, but I'm so glad for them. And that to me is like the best success, is that when you don't need me anymore, or you want to just have me sort of on the sidelines if you have questions, that to me is like the biggest success. And I've had a few clients like that. And a few clients I took breaks that, they weren't sure what they wanted to do with their business and life and stuff. And they're coming back because they're like, hey, I can lean on you for X, Y, and Z. So I'm so happy to see people get to the place that they want to be and reach their goals and make new goals. Like, that to me is even better, is when you hit the goal and then let's let's make a new one. Where are you at now? So,
And I'm pretty sure that if you lose a client because you were so good, you probably gain 10 because these guys are going to tell everybody, right?
they are very kind. Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Why do you think every professional like me or organization should consider working with a coach?
Yeah. So, we all do therapy. A lot of us should do therapy, and this and this is like a therapy session. Again, it's somebody to vent to, somebody to have a conversation, someone who's more advisory you can bounce ideas off of, because you might have one person in the business, but when you're in an executive role, or let's say you've been in a company for 10 years, you have a very, your vision is tunneled. You don't necessarily see the big picture. And I think that's, for me, because I worked in strategy, my brain, when I was in school, I had a moment. One of the profs was talking about a situation that happened to her. Somebody came to her house. She would to sell wood. She sold them. Was talking about how to improve their business and offerings and this and that. And she's like, of course, leave it to a PhD strategist to have these conversations. And that's when, I remember this light bulb moment in the class. I was like, strategy. I'm like, this is what I do. I didn't realize, there was the word to put behind it. And so it's looking at the business from a bigger picture, helping them with the strategy overall. Again, getting them to the goal, listening to what they need, and then, pushing them to where they want to be.
I mean, as you said, you talked about therapists, but I go to the gym. It's $100 a month. I go to the chiropractor. It's $50 a month. I go to the physio. It's $100 a month. Massage therapist. It's $100 a month. So I'm taking care of all of this, buddy, and it doesn't really show. So why wouldn't it make sense to take care of my brain, right?
Yeah.
So I'm all for it. I love it. Some people still think that coaching is just luxury, and they don't have the money for it, or it's a trend, and eventually, people are not going to use coaches anymore. What would you tell them?
I mean, do a cost analysis. How much time are you spending sitting there spinning your wheels, thinking of what do I need to do next? It's investing in your future and what you're able, reaching out to somebody that will help you get to where you need to be. So, I mean, are coaches necessary for everybody? No, there's some people that don't need it, but there's a lot of people that definitely need that support. And I've walked in the shoes of, as an executive, as a leader, and so I understand the real day-to-day issues that they're dealing with. I used to oversee 50 plus people, and so I say the more people, the more problems. And so, I get it. So based on what I've seen, businesses have your goals, you want to reach them. And so it's hiring a coach to help you get to these places. So it's at the end of the day, it's looking at it, it's what is the real benefit or loss potentially, and it's the same thing as hiring a staff. It's you spend all this money, they leave, you have to pay all this money for somebody else. It's there's a benefit to having somebody support you throughout your journey, because it takes a lot of time and energy if you don't have anybody to talk to, or you need that help.
I mean, high level people say they make $100 an hour. I mean, you save them 2, 3, 4 hours a month because you help them focus, because you help them build something that's going to help them, put their ideas, trackers and stuff like that. I mean, do the math.
That's it.
I don't know how much it costs, but if you can save somebody 5 hours a week or 5 hours a month, that's $500.
Yeah.
Shouldn't they invest in $500 of coaching every month or every other month or whatever? Definitely. ROI is, my experience is, it's hard sometimes to measure.
Yeah.
But it's definitely there. If it's not in terms of money, it's definitely in terms of time.
Yeah.
Because you're saving me a lot of time by helping me focus and building stuff and thinking about KPIs that I didn't think about. And so, yeah, for me, it's definitely worth it.
Thank you. Well, and just to add on to that, one of my clients made a comment that hiring me was like hiring 4 people because of my experience. So it's not even just, you're hiring me to help you like be accountable. It's like, let's talk about the marketing. Let's talk about the operations. Like, it's all these different pieces that we're going through that a lot of people will hire, all these other parties to do. And so it's like, and I'm not saying that every coach is like this. Again, I think my experience has shaped my ability to coach people in a different way than some other people. But I know from their word, you can read my Google reviews, that I've been able to save them money in other ways. Yeah.
And I like how you talk about, you're like 4 people. Like in my current role, they didn't hire me because I've managed a brokerage, a large international brokerage in the past. They've hired me because I've seen 100 different brokerage, and I know what works and what doesn't work in those 100 brokers, and I can take the best of everything and help my current brokerage with my experience. So that's a little bit what you're doing. It's not necessarily that you've owned 100 businesses, but you've dealt with 100 business owners,
yeah.
And so you've seen 100 different things, and whoever you're going to meet, some of your experience you can put together and say, all right, this should work for you.
Absolutely.
So I love that.
Yeah. And I work a lot in a lot of my career has been in the healthcare space. So a lot of my clients just happen to be psychiatrists, psychologists, home care, and sleep consultants. But there's this niche of autism services. So I'm learning, from one client, and I'm learning from the next client, and now I'm putting all these pieces together. What in Ontario, what's needed for support. So it's like the more clients and the more businesses that I'm working with, the more that I'm learning about different areas that I can now pass on to the next client that hires me. So it's been great because at least I say that people, as a business coach, you don't necessarily need to know how to be a graphic designer, but you need to know how the basic business skills. And so that's why, for me, I feel like I don't need to necessarily just stay in the healthcare lane or just stay, in one lane or the other. You're just dealing with business, and most businesses, it's the same, basic issues that you're dealing with, whether it's like your tech, your HR, all A to Z. So I think that's been, again, really eye-opening for me. Is like, I can really help so many people, yourself included, because it doesn't really matter of the industry. It's just, how can you be a better leader, founder?
So you're like a living Google for businesses. If someone's listening, hopefully people are listening right now, and they wonder, is coaching for me? How would you help them answer that question?
I would ask them, it's a great question. I would ask them how, some of their biggest issues, what they're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. And if they need somebody to hold them accountable, somebody to vent to. So again, it really goes down to, I have my own business. I've actually created my own support system of other coaches, so we're helping each other grow and pushing each other. And I think that everybody, including, there's this $1 billion coach that I was listening to one of the audiobooks, and this guy worked with Steve Jobs and all of the big Apple and Microsoft. He was coaching all of these executives, and he didn't need to know, again, anything about the industry. He was a football coach, but he believed in the team dynamic and just basic business. And so it's like anybody that's looking for just how to improve their business, how to grow, how to scale, how to be more efficient. And that's, I say that my sweet spot is where people are growing. They've been in business for a few years, they just don't know how to get to the next spot. But the visionaries, I'm a visionary, so it's you want to start this idea? Okay, let's do some research. Let's build a website. See what makes sense for you. But making sure that the why, understanding why they're getting into business, and if asking the hard questions, are you an entrepreneur? And some people will be like, yeah, that's who I am. And then I push them and I'm like, but you're going to have to work this many hours and you have to do this. And, pushing them out of their comfort zone because they think it's like this beautiful thing. And I love entrepreneurship, so don't get me wrong. But for a lot of people, it's not 9 to 5. You need that accountability. You need somebody to tell you, you should be looking at your numbers. Look at this, look at that. And so, again, it's like people are really good at what they do and they start businesses, amazing, but they just don't know how to run it properly. So that's what I think a coach would help with.
And, I don't know the exact numbers, but 3 out of 4 businesses don't make it through the first year or the first 2 years. And I would take for granted that 99% of those didn't have a coach. Because as you said, they're good at what they do, so they're like, I can do this, right?
Yeah.
But being good at selling or whatever, playing music, doesn't mean you're going to be good at managing people and doing a website and creating the incorporation and this and that. Bringing back to the insurance business, unfortunately, fortunately, lots of success, but also unfortunately, a lot of good brokers, for example, said, all right, I'm good, I'm bringing so much money, I feel I can do it on my own. I'm going to make more money and I'm going to create a value and then I'm going to sell it in 10 years and I'm going to retire. But as you said, being a good broker, being a good salesperson doesn't mean you're going to be good at everything else that business required. Doesn't mean you're going to be good at managing people, because the way you like to be managed, unfortunately, sometimes is the exact opposite of what everybody else needs, right?
Yeah.
Salespeople have certain personality, assistant or account managers or what, other people have different personalities. So unfortunately, I've seen it way too many times in the insurance business where such a good broker, such a good producer start a business and it didn't work out and they had to sell it, close it, whatever, and become an employee again, and now they have all this frustration. Or it could be just within a brokerage. For example, you're a good salesperson, they offer you a management role, you'd love to do it, but there's a big step. Actually, it's not even a step. It's not even a step. It's completely opposite. So being a good salesperson doesn't mean you're going to be a good manager. So these guys, although they're not starting their own business, these guys should maybe if it's just 1, 2, 3, 4 sessions, right? These guys getting into a new role where they're going to have different people reporting to them, more responsibilities and this and that. I feel these guys should definitely hire a coach the same way I would, hire a massage therapist after a week of golfing because God, my back hurts, right? So yeah, I think everybody should think about it.
Yeah.
And anything else you want to say?
No, I was just gonna say it's just knowing your strengths and weaknesses, and it's like we're all human. Nobody can be great at everything. I'm not great at everything. That's why I have all these partnerships and people around me. And I think, again, like anybody, if they're in the insurance business, they're a great sales, but they need somebody to help them with the business aspect, or they need somebody to help them with the marketing or whatever it is. So, don't be afraid to ask. Like, that doesn't have to be me. It could be, Shayna has lots of contacts. So there's a lot of people that are out there to support these founders and help them grow. So it's important.
Last question, the most important one. Where can people find you, follow your work, or connect with you if they're interested in having Shay as a coach?
Yeah. You can follow me on LinkedIn, Shayna Osterer, Shayna Osterer, my website, shaynaosterer.com, or Business Coach Shayna on Instagram and Facebook.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you,
you.
everyone. You can always comment, ask me. I'll put you in touch with Shay. Her website and all the contacts will probably be in the comments below. That's the first time I say this. That's cool. So thank you, Shay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And see you next time I'm in Ottawa.
Absolutely. Take care.
And that's it for part 2. In part 1, Shay walked us through her bold career path from the cannabis industry to an MBA and into entrepreneurship. We got to meet a woman with clarity, courage, and a deep drive to create meaningful change. In the second part, we dove into the art of her work as a coach, a business coach. She helped us demystify what coaching really is, how she supports her client, and why every business manager or entrepreneur should seriously consider working with a coach. Whether you're in a moment of growth, change, or even uncertainty, the right coach can truly make all the difference. Big thanks to Shay for her honesty, insight, and contagious energy. Can't wait to have her again.
C'est la fin du Café Courtier, le podcast qui réveille le monde du courtage, un sujet à la fois.